All right, welcome back to another episode of Born to Be Great. Nick, I'm going to throw you the keys, man. Introduce
Yeah,
our
we
guest.
got we
We got a
got
good one
Mac
here
Daddy
today.
today, man. And he's a dog, man. He told me the other day he trains harder now than he does while he was at Alabama. So excited to have you on, Mac.
Nick, Justin, appreciate you guys having me on. Excited to be here. Just met you guys in the past couple of weeks and love you guys. Y'all are awesome. Got a lot of energy, and that's what I love, and have been very helpful to me so far, even through just meeting y'all. So grateful and excited to be here to talk today.
Let's go, man. Well, again, appreciate you for coming on. Let's get into it, man. Let's get a little bit of background on you. Tell the people your come up story. Like, obviously, let's talk about a little bit of the walk on Alabama, and then yeah, we'll get into the good stuff. But yeah, give us a little background, Mac.
Yeah, I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, one of 5 kids slash 6 now, kind of have an adopted brother. Long story. Won't get into it, but 2 amazing parents, and always wanted to play at the University of Alabama. Um, Went to high school, after high school, graduated. But I would say kind of to talk a little bit on that story when we talk about like it was always my dream to play at the University of Alabama. And that's like a steep goal, being one of the most prestigious colleges for football in the United States or in the country. Um, and what it took to get there wasn't just nothing. Like in high school, I'd say I always worked hard, played multiple different sports. And then at a certain point, I went down to track football. And that was it, just track and football and really working on that speed, as well as just like continuing to grind in football. But it would be like my junior year, I threw in front of over 53 different college coaches. Not for me, for my quarterback, who's actually from Texas, but for my quarterback, Lyndall Stone would have me out there. It'd be like 6 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning before we'd get going. And it's just like, I remember waking up and walking upstairs, like the sun's just coming up or it's not even come up yet. And I'm like, I hope this pays off someday. But I was absolutely just like, when I wanted something so bad, I had so much intentional focus on it. And whether it was in the classroom or whether it was the things I was doing on the field or at practice, I was always trying to work towards that goal. And then fast forward, there was a time where I had opportunities at smaller Division I schools to get paid to go play football, but
Roll Tide,
Alabama
baby.
was the place I really, really wanted to go. Like I said, it was my dream. I could sit here and tell you that I thought about going to other places, but in reality, I think my dream was so set that it didn't matter who gave me a shot. And went to Nick Saban football camp multiple times and made the like all Saban team, which is like a thing they have at the camp for probably people who just work really hard. Didn't really have to do as much with talent, but it was kind of crazy because every year I did go to the camp, which I started going in '08 or '07, one of his like first season in Alabama. Um, I was a recipient of that award, which is cool. But ended up the last camp that I went to, got a call, and after going to it, like they're like, hey, we want you to come here. We don't have an opportunity to give you a scholarship right now, but we think you could make an impact, and would love to have you at the University of Alabama. And literally went the next, like I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I'm in, count me in. Like I on the spot was telling the coach, like, I'm coming. Hadn't called my parents yet. Go to Twitter, tweet it out like I'm excited to go to the University of Alabama. It starts blowing up on Twitter. I'm a 4th generation, so at the university. So there's a ton of my family loves the university, ton of like family stuff there. And immediately after, it starts going off on Twitter, and then I get a call from my parents, who I should have called or said something to right away, but I had to get the tweet out. I'm a social media guy, I'm branding, and my parents call me, and they're like, my mom's like, "Are you sure that this like is a legit thing? Like, do you need me to get the coach's number? Like, you can't just say that you're going to the University of Alabama." I'm like, Mom, no, like they offered me a preferred walk-on spot. So it was funny because my parents were like so shocked that like it would happen. Not in the sense of they just couldn't believe it. It wasn't like they didn't believe in me. And my parents didn't have a lot of, say or anything in my high school recruiting process. Like, to go off a little bit there, like most kids' parents, I feel like were very active, took them to camps, got them involved in stuff, talked to coaches. Like, it's not that my parents didn't love me. They just had a different strategy. And it was kind of, if I wanted it, that I was going to have to go and completely get it by myself. So I drove myself to camps in high school, signed up for camps in high school, paid for camps in high school that I wanted to go to. And so that was pretty interesting, but that was the whole reason, like, they were so shocked because they didn't have any say or anything in this recruiting process. And then I go out there and tweet it, and then they see it online and on like the Bama recruiting site. So that's where I got there, ended up going to Bama for the best years of my life, and won a national
What years
championship,
was that
an SEC
again?
championship, 2016 to
Oh
2019.
yeah, gosh, we played at the same
Um,
time.
it was pretty awesome. Played wide receiver, was around a great group of guys. I mean, I'm talking like Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, John Mechie, Ardarius Stewart, Gary Dieter, Tyrell Shavers, who scored a touchdown last weekend. Um,
Wow.
like it goes on and on. It was around a stacked receiver group, so got to learn a lot. And I think it was just pivotal for what it did for my life and for my career to be able to be under Coach Saban, who was the greatest college football coach of all time, but also I think one of the best businessmen of all time. He's running an operation, is what he was doing, and so the learning stuff from it was pretty incredible, and the experience in general was something I'll never forget.
All right, so give us two things there. Give us a football lesson that you learned from Saban, and then give us a business lesson that you might have learned from Saban.
See, Justin, this is the thing. The lessons that Saban gave us were applicable to both. That was the cool
Mm-hmm.
thing about everything he taught, everything he said. Um, I would just I'll take it down to the thing that a lot of people see as this process. And the whole fact of, in football, he would tell us, hey, like, the goal is you go out there, you do a rep. So if I'm going to do a rep at wide receiver, I'm doing that rep with the intention in mind for me to better myself and to be the best receiver I can possibly be. So I'm going to do everything. That thinking in turn gets me to do it right, one, and then two, it gets me to do it with intention, but also takes my focus off of the result of having success in the play, rather, but more having success of doing it right and getting better at doing it. So it makes you complete the task and do it at a higher level. I would take that, and it's applicable to business as well, in the sense of, like, hey, if I'm going to do this right in business, if I'm going to work and learn and try to be my best at doing this thing, and that's my intention, not, hey, how much am I going to get paid from this deal, or how much is it going to affect me in this way, or it's going to build me this relationship. No, if you focus on the fact of, like, hey, here's where I am, here's where I've got to go to get there, and I'm going to do it the right way, and all this in turn to literally make myself better at what I'm doing, then you're probably going to accomplish it. And if you don't, at the end of the day, that process in between, the journey from getting from A to B, is an incredible thing. Like, that's where a lot of the growth is.
Amen.
People, he always talk about, people want to focus on that end goal, that end result. But if you focus on that journey in between, and the actual build of doing what you have to do to be successful, that in itself becomes so much bigger reward than what you thought previously. That was
Mm-hmm.
one of the coolest things that I love, that, like, I take it into my life all the time today, in general. But I just love how he would focus on that, because we would go play a game. And the thing is, guys, like, we didn't really get, during the 2016, 2019 years that I was there was never really any time anyone was nervous before a football game against anyone else. It was going there, like, we knew it would be belt to ass. Like, we knew that we were going to
You guys did the work. You prepared. Yeah.
yeah, we prepared so intentionally and so well that, like, look, when we got there, there was no one we thought would be doing that as good as we were, as hard as we were, who trained as hard, who, like, wanted it as bad. So that's one thing I think, in the rest of his quotes and the rest of his things that he told us, again, are all applicable to both. But I would say another one too that really stands out is, like, I used to get in my feelings sometimes. I used to be like, dang, like, I hate that he said that to me, or whatever, when he's coaching. And it's kind of like, you can't get in your feelings. Like, you got to realize some of it is personal. They may tell you it's not. Some of life, some of, like, football was personal, but at the end of the day, a lot of it's not. Like, it's like people are trying to make you better. And if you can detach that, like, emotion or feeling from that whatever someone said that you think is personal, and not take it too hard. I think that's something I wish I did a little bit better at Alabama sometimes. But in life, just knowing that emotions and feelings are one thing, but they never should dictate the way you show up to something. And like I had a crazy story where I came into a workout late due to various reasons. I bumper tapped a car. Okay, bumper tapped a car. I had a loss from a friend from high school the night before. I'm like tired. I can't sleep. I wake up the next morning, 6 a.m. lift. I bumper tap this car. I'm like freaking out. Like I've got to get to lift. That's all I can think about. Not that like, oh, I'm okay, or like this person's okay. I'm like, God, I got to get to lift. So I like get out the car or whatever. Tell the person I'll take pictures. We're going to make sure it's all fine. Like I'll handle it, get insurance, handle it, whatever. I zoomed to the weight room. Obviously I have all this stuff going on. I change into my stuff. I run through the tunnel, which is where we go. And I'm a split second late. I'm telling you, like, you wouldn't have even known. I'm tucked in, ready to go. Split second late. One of the coaches says, push the motherfucking plate. And I'm like, coach, like, I came right. I'm here. Like, literally, like, I could see the back of the other person running into the weight room. And we have to be there. And I'm like, coach, like, what are you talking about? Like, no. And he's like, push the fucking plate. And I'm like, all right. So I start pushing the plate. I'm pissed. You got to think, I had the thing, I was staying up all late night the night before, and I have the car thing situation. My head is going everywhere, left and right. And I get done doing it. And I tell him, remember, we're human. This is not Saban. This is another coach. But he says, Mac, shut the blank up. And later that day, we're in stretch and stride. And he comes over to me and he goes, if you ever say that shit to me again, he's like, you don't even want to know what's going to happen. It's not all to say he was a mean guy. All this is to say that during that time, I was like, wow, this is sick. Like, who treats people like this? This is not right. That coach came up to me and talked to me later on after practice and explained the whole entire thing. It's not about him. Like, he's not saying he doesn't feel bad for me. He wanted to hear what's going on. He wanted to hear what's wrong. But in a time where we show up to work, you got to work. And everyone's got shit going on. You may have like something going on over here. You may have messed up something over here, whether it's in practice, whether it's outside of the facility. You got family issues, whatever. And I think one of the coolest things is the ability that you have to kind of turn that off at times and not let it dictate how you show up to something, which I think is a challenging thing. And I think is admirable for people that can do it well. So that's another thing that, like, I could be feeling sick. I could be tired. I could be worn out, but not going to let it affect me and how I show up to work, to talk to other people, to communicate with people, to work out, whatever it is. I'm going to continue to do my best and show up and be a light in any way that I can, regardless of what else I got going on.
I love that. Nick, have you had any of those
Yeah,
moments?
I've had, I was never trying to think if I was late for everything, man. I had a couple of hardcore coaches too. Because your first year,
You said you were never late, Nick?
bro, I'm trying to think if I was ever late.
Like, don't make me look bad. It was one
Dude, I
time. Dang
mean,
it.
you know how it is. I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's fear or it's just like the standard you buy into. But Coach Napier was your wide receiver coach in 2016, right? Yeah, so then he
Yep.
went to ASU in 2017. I got a little bit of that, Alabama shit. And then when I went to Louisiana Lafayette, I'm pretty sure we ran the program just like Alabama, bro. And it was tough, but we were good. So I can definitely relate to all that. But um, yeah, man, I've definitely can agree to, when it's time to work, you got to work and you got to put your feelings aside. Everybody does have stuff that's going on, in the world of football and outside of it. And I've seen so many talented people that couldn't handle all that, and that's why they never, made it to the NFL or even through the 4 or 5 years in college. So much is the like mental and emotional management. And it is a skill set that you can, I mean, shit, it's just mental toughness, I guess, that you can develop over time. And I think you build that muscle in sports and translate it into life and business, you'll be super successful. But you talk to a lot of guys in the league, they'll tell you a lot of it is 80% mental. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's hard to sometimes turn it off. But they're Alabama's printed warriors, last 15 or 20 years or however long that Nick Saban was there. So I'm sure that was a super cool experience, and cool to see kind of all your former teammates succeed in the NFL and life and business. That's an elite breed of dudes, man.
Those are some
Yeah,
names right there.
there's some guys too who like it's fun because everyone sees the guys who made it in the league, and I think I have could be wrong about this, but I know it's plus or minus 10 from this number, and I really think it's this number, but it could be different. I think there's over 63 different guys that I played with throughout 4 years that are in the NFL currently, which
Wow.
is awesome. It's cool, and I'm extremely proud. And like the other day I was thinking about it because Quentin Williams, obviously one of my closest friends and best friends, and getting to see him play and ball out, I was like, it makes me happy, dude. It's like free. I get free joy. You know what I'm saying? Like I get to watch this thing and I'm like, this is awesome. So seeing friends that I played with that went through different struggles, different things, and getting to see them succeed at that level is incredible. What's also very cool is seeing guys off the field, that took advantage when they were there. There's guys who come in as Nick. I'm sure y'all had it ASU, but like some guys, they'll come in and like we'll have speakers come in and they don't listen. They don't care. And then what happens is they don't end up going to the league. And then what are they supposed to do? There's other guys in that room who think they're going to the league and want to go to the league that are listening and are trying to grasp as much information and soak it up like a sponge as they possibly can. And so like in specific, there's a guy named Donnie Lee, who was one of my teammates who had an interesting story, ended up like playing on the team, reasons had to get away from the team and went and played at West Alabama, and then now is in Tuscaloosa and has built this whole entire training program called the Lab, which like gives back to the youth, and he trains all these guys, helps them through their college process. There's like a big community service arm to it and nonprofit arm. It's like it's turned into this massive thing where he's been able to like change a lot of kids' lives and help a lot of kids out, and educate them and do it through like a thing with like a faith. So I just want to shout him out in particular, but it's cool to see different guys get on their business grind and utilize, hey, like we were at the best business in the whole entire country. Like I said, that's what Saban, he's a CEO, he's the business guy. He took business to football and made it work. And that's why Bama, I think, was so successful during that time period, is because that's how it operated. You have him at the top. He coached the coaches, told them what to do, had them so locked in and bought into what he was doing. And then the coaches then would relay that message to us. So there was this filter, and it's not like we couldn't talk to Coach Saban, but the reason he did that was all intentional, because when you create these different layers, there's now a different level of respect for the man up top. When there's not as much communication, you respect him more. You almost fear him. So whenever he comes into a room, you could hear a freaking pin drop. I think it was Devontae Smith who said in the team meeting room, you could hear a rat shit when Coach Saban came in. I don't even know what a rat shit smells like, but I think it was him who said that, because like it's like when Coach Saban comes in, it's dead silent.
Go
Um,
time.
and so yeah, it was. I could go on and on about it, but it was a pretty crazy experience.
I was just about to say, I feel like we could go a million directions with like the Saban lessons to life, business from football, but I want to talk about your business journey, Mac, as you're doing some cool stuff now. Like, we talked a little bit beforehand, like, and you were making social media content too. Like, can you just talk about what you're doing then and how that sort of transitioned into like what you're doing now with investing, all the stuff you're doing outside of work, like all the stuff you got going on? Because I think that's a relevant topic for a lot of people nowadays. And plus, like, I'm just selfishly curious to learn about that as well.
Yeah, I would say that one of the things is like people, I think should realize more the value of building a brand on social and digital media, or wherever it may be. LinkedIn. I don't really do a lot of LinkedIn, but I started that off at Alabama, started making content. And the whole reason it kind of came from, I wasn't playing like I wanted to, as much as I wanted to or anything. And was like, why did I really want to be here? And it's like this impact you could have on other people was massive. And so I was like, okay, if I could take the fact, it doesn't matter what number I wear on my jersey, how many reps I get, I can still make an impact wearing this A, and a positive impact across campus and to kids and to other people. So started just like posting and started doing things when the media asked for a player if they're willing to do it. Started doing things and getting active and everything. And then it started to grow and grow. And the impact was like really cool. Kids coming up to me at fan day, like I'm having a line, at freaking fan day, because I'm on social media, and I'm one of the only people. It's goofy, but that's the new world, and it was cool. So started there, and then I continued doing it all throughout, because you'll understand as I go away from Bama, I keep doing it like in my master's at Vandy. And then what happened is having that brand and that following got me my first deal in business, you could say, that created a sector of business for me. A sports social media app company reached out to me and was like, hey, we want to work with you because of my following, because of my brand. You don't think about it. There's one that everyone does something that's relevant and cool during their lives. And so it's taking that moment and maintaining relevancy, but also building different relevant moments off of that, because you can get in more doors. That's the value. Like, I know we were talking about it with Nick, but like, that's why I think Nick should continue to do it. He's so connected. He knows freaking everybody, but it would also help him get connected to people in different spaces that he can never think of. So for me, I kept doing it, had that app company reach out, started a business. They were the first client or person I worked with where I would do equity and retainer in the company, and then help them on anything and everything: branding, strategy, marketing, media, anything you can think of, connecting them to different people. Was doing anything and everything possible to help them grow. Replicated that model a couple of times. And then the last one in 2023 was a sports betting group called Wager, WAGR, where I came on and helped out in the marketing. Did the same sort of deal with them, equity retainer, and always loved to have my own hours, but would go into their office a bunch. And great team, incredible group of people, ended up exiting to Yahoo Sports. So that's one sector of it. The other, obviously, the content side, I always never let go, because I realized the value, and the value was clear anytime I'd work with one of these companies that I'd be working with. Okay, it's a tequila company and they're wanting to do something with the soccer team in Nashville. Well, turns out I've actually done content deals with the Nashville group, did a good job, and also met more people through it that are a part of that program and that system. And so it's like, okay, I can help people. I can help out there. How can I be helpful? Can I connect dots? Can I make things work? Another example may be when I'm working with the sports social media app company, that athletes have followed me who enjoy content because they're like, Matt creates content. And then I'm able to connect the app company to athletes who want to make content and want to be there. And so, and then you can get into like any and every door. I mean, like, it's pretty special what it can do, and then the impact you can make on others is massive. So I've continued to do it. And then on the last side, I call it the A to Z bucket. Told you guys about it before, but it's just about anything and everything. Like, I like to almost have an ability to feel or somewhat understand what anyone could go through or what anyone does go through in a sense. And that's why I love the A to Z bucket, which is basically doing anything and everything that I want to do at a certain point, with, obviously with the main thing being the private equity and venture stuff I'm working on now, and the marketing stuff. And the content stuff. But whenever I have a spare time, it's the spot that, like, hey, I want to go write a song. And so I go and sit in on a music write for 4 to 8 hours. Well, now I can't say that I know what the life of a writer is like. Like, look, I went one day, but I can get a sense of what that feels like. I can understand a little bit of what that day may look like. Go over here and do some community service in this area, or go hang out with this group of people and go to this event that no one else is going to, but because of my relevancy, and because of my brand, I'm getting invited to these different things that are all these different lanes, which is then in turn, I think one of the most impactful things is like I said, making it so I can almost be able to feel and see and relate to different people from everywhere. Because that's a really fun thing. And it's like, it's also a very valuable thing. I feel that if you could walk into any room with any type of person and know, hey, there's going to be some kind of connection with them. Um, like that's awesome. So that's a little bit of all that. And then obviously jumped in relatively recently, private equity, venture, and other stuff. And Justin, I know if you want to dig more on the content stuff, I know I gave a big overview, but kind of wanted to showcase more of the connection of why it's important still for me to maintain it and why I enjoy still doing it. And there's a part of me that loves it too. I just love content. I love media. I love branding. I think it's all very important, and it's also very fun.
Dude, I mean that I 100% agree. Like I've been doing this stuff like probably for the past month and a half now, and like part of me is like, shit, I wish I would have done this when I had my business before we sold it, because it'd have been really cool to show all that stuff day to day, and I feel like it could have like been an even bigger platform. It's a little bit part of me that's like, dang, I wish I started. But I'm glad I'm doing it now, and I 100% agree. Again, I've been posting a little bit more, and I've had some cool opportunities just in like the last month, like people reaching out, and I don't know if it's anything I'm going to go forward with, but you're right, like it is a great platform, and I think in this day and age now with AI and everything too, like it's going to be hard to distinguish like who's a real person, who's not in the future. So I think it's really important to like build this stuff now. I'm actually reading a good book. I don't know if y'all have read it. It's called Key Person of Influence. I don't know if y'all have read that book. But he talks about like building your personal brand. He wrote this 10 years ago, and how like that's going to be like the most relevant thing going forward. Because like you said, Mac, it's like really all about relationships. People want to like feel connected to people. Again, I think with all this new technology and AI nowadays, like community is really important. Having connections is going to be super important. Like people want that, and like the more you can relate to people and connect with them, like obviously, like I think you just have a better life the more opportunities you'll have. So yeah, like what you're doing there, like you'll get business deals for sure, dude. I mean, like you're a great example of already doing it. So that'll just continue to flourish for the rest of your life. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if there's any more tactical stuff you can maybe give the audience when it comes to that kind of stuff, because I think it's more important than ever. And then, like you said, yeah, we need to get Nick. We need to get Nick on the grind, because he was making videos, right? He was making awesome videos. I want him to do it
Oh
again.
man, I'll get back into it, man. I got.
Let's go.
I agree, man. It's important. I think your personal brand is everything, and you can attract a lot of stuff, to you. One being talent. And I think being around talented, good people is some of the most important thing that you can do. I don't know how. I guess Andrew connected us, Mac. But Justin and I are definitely trying to put together a squad of dogs that can all help each other out and build each other up. So glad you got looped into the brotherhood.
We don't know what we're calling it yet, but Mac's
Yeah,
definitely part of it.
Hey, I'm very grateful to. I know I don't have the business side probably as down pat as you guys
I don't know
do.
shit, dude.
So I'm grateful to be considered into the brotherhood. Let me know if I need to like cut my finger and we're doing blood brothers or something. I'm kidding. Got that. But all to say, I would say some more tactical things, Justin, because I know people always want to hear, like, one of the biggest questions is, all right, I'm a business, I'm a brand, I'm an individual. Where do I start? And I'm not going to sit here, and I see these podcasts all the time. I don't watch them. I say I see them all the time. I see clips. I don't really watch a lot of podcasts. I don't really read a lot of books. Not recommending anyone should not do that. I think I should read more books. I see all the books behind you. I think it's good. I'm sure Nick's read a bunch of books. I'm probably
I
the
got a
least
bunch in here,
book
man.
reader in this this three right here. All to say that you can go look up stuff on the internet. You can try to figure out, oh, what's the best way I should attack this? How should I do this? I think the thing is that when starting and building, it can look different for just about anyone, and it's overwhelming. It can be like a mountain you're looking at. And I think make that mountain very small, make it a little bit of a hill. Think about, okay, what can I do first to get out there? What's the easiest way to do this? If I'm trying to build a brand, like you take you for an example, or a perfect example of someone who was trying to figure it out. How do I do this? You just started going. You're posting these quotes with like these background things. It's like it's interesting, it's entertaining, it's insightful. Figure out what you want to put out there to the world. And it doesn't have to be all the same thing at first. If you want to do a video on XYZ and then switch and do a video on this, that's the beauty of it all. You have a blank canvas at an early start. You take someone like me, or take someone like Nick, for example, who Nick was doing a certain style of content and certain style of videos that people were expecting. And so, Nick, I don't know if you'd agree with this or not, but I feel like you probably feel like, gosh, people want to see that still, that people wouldn't necessarily want to see the other stuff you're doing now, or that it may be different. But the thing is, like, for someone who's just starting, because for me, it's like, oh, I know they wanted to see Alabama football first. I know they want to see this. So it's, how do I find something new that people want to see or want to be a part of? But for an early person, like I said, back to the basic of getting started, just start. Like, and what I mean by that is pick up the damn phone, start recording yourself. It doesn't matter if you post it. It's like, just see what you can do. Like, what do you want? Hey, like, grab the phone. Hey, I don't even know what I'm doing or why I'm doing this. Some idiot online told me, his name is Mac Hereford, to
Mac
pull up
Daddy.
my phone and record myself. Do that, it's simple. Like, you just get going, keep working, keep like figuring out ways to do it. And then the other tactical thing would be this idea that I kind of had, or have thought about, that's helped me in the past, is a blueprint method or model, which I think I may have told you this, Justin, but essentially it's seeing what really already works. If you're looking at a racetrack and there's a car that's going around that track in a certain style of way to get a certain time, that's the best time of it all. Wouldn't you do that if you're a race car driver? Take the same route. You're a different driver. You're in a different car, so you're not copying it, but you're going through the route that works and works the most efficiently. So what I mean by that is, like, if you see a style of video, if you see a certain kind of way to use music on a video, or if you see certain posts like your post that you're doing right now currently, that are these insightful posts, like, people have done that before. You're doing it in your own voice and you're doing it differently, and you've seen it's been successful. So it's taking that model that you've seen other people may have used and then making it your own, because it is your own. Because people all the time are like, I don't want to copy. You're not copying. If it's you, your individual self, you're a different person. You have a different way of thinking. Don't just put the same words in the same text and everything. Be yourself when you do it, but that's what makes it and creates it to be different. So I'd say, go ahead and freaking start. Do this shit and get out there. Sorry for the language. Get out there and do this thing. And and it's just you never know what doors it'll open for you. You never know who it'll help you get introduced to. To be honest, I think it's the whole reason I'm talking to you guys right now. Like, Andrew connected me. Andrew found me on there or something, or was connected me through a marketing guy because I had worked with them. Andrew connects me to Nick. Nick connects me to Justin. We're on this freaking podcast because of something that we all think is silly, which is social media, but is actually in turn extremely freaking valuable. So if it's going to put
Facts.
these three people in a room, that I think we're going to end up building a freaking empire together, in the group that y'all are talking about, are going to do some massive things that people will hear about in the years to follow. I think that we will all be crushing it. And we're going to look back at this and we're going to say, holy shit, the whole thing was brought together by freaking social media. Is that not
Yeah.
wild to think about?
It is, dude. It's really cool, honestly. Like, I met some really cool people online, obviously, like through the connections that you just mentioned as well. But yeah, I guess I really haven't thought about it like that. Like, it is like, thanks Mark Zuckerberg, thanks all the guys back there for making this stuff, because it's so crazy, man. I think how you use it too intentionally, like, obviously matters a lot. I think for me, for sure. But yeah, man, I mean, that's why I'm excited to like keep doing this stuff, because I've seen the power of it. Like, obviously you've been crushing it, and I very much appreciate you dropping some wisdom
Just
here.
show how
So
girls that are starting to
yeah, no,
like Justin's content, bro. Insane.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Justin, those are distractions sent by Zuckerberg. Don't fall for them. Okay. Don't fall for them. They will try to attack you and they will try to bring you down, buddy. But you just stay strong. When
I'm
you
clear,
start
Ben.
posting,
I got tunnel vision, bro. I'm good.
you better have that tunnel vision. I would also like to say, not trying to be cheesy or anything, and I don't know where you guys stand on this point, but I do give a lot of credit to social media. Really, the credit all goes to
Yeah.
God. But
Amen, bro.
and I just want to be clear on that. Like, I'm a Christian, and I believe that, like, he gets credit for all this. Not me, for all these things I say or do. None of my successes are my successes. They're really his. But so I'm grateful for that, and that's the reason I think we're truly all connected. But in the worldly part of it, social media is what did connect us. And I know Justin wants to get the algorithm boosting him. That's why he said thanks Zuckerberg and Elon. Let me give my shout out to Elon Zuckerberg. Who are some of these other people? And I don't want to go off too far on this.
That's so awesome, man. Well, again, I mean, I think we could probably end it here. Nick, do you got anything else you want to say
I'm
on
good,
this
man. I
topic?
gotta get to work. But Mac, you're a good dude,
Day
man.
job.
And seriously though, he told me the other day, he was like, "Yeah, man, I still train every day. I'm sick of the mind. They brainwashed me at Alabama, dude. I'm still doing."
Okay, yeah, let's leave it. Yeah, let's end it here, Mac. Tell the people what your workout routine's like, and then we can end it.
Yeah, I mean, I get up. I'm dressed for it right now. 4 times a week, 5 times a week. I'm doing something training wise. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I go into the gym. I'm grinding for about 30, 45 minutes doing speed, agility, fast twitch movement,
This guy's sick.
other things like that. For the next 45 minutes to an hour, I'm doing strength. I'm doing power, trying to like put on
Where you
that
live,
weight,
dude? I
get
need to
that
come hang
body
out with you.
stronger. Hey,
Atlanta? Where you at?
I love this shit.
Oh
I'm in
shit.
Nashville. And then on Wednesdays, 5 years out, you know what I do? I still run routes every Wednesday
This
morning.
guy's ready for the
I'm
league,
still
man. Dude,
running routes.
The Jags, we need a receiver, bro. Like our two of our receivers are injured. Maybe you can come play for us.
Make it happen, Justin. I mean, people look at me like I'm a weirdo. They're like, what is that guy doing? Hasn't he been out there for 5
Is
years? He
somebody
hasn't
throwing you
touched
a
a
ball?
football field.
Okay.
Jordan Ta'amu, UFL MVP and champion. Jordan Ta'amu is the one throwing me the ball, getting that training and getting that work in. And the chemistry's still there. So if you know any teams that are looking for a free agent 5 years out,
Hey, what's
hasn't put on the
that
pads, he's
that
putting in the
show that just
work.
came out on, was it Amazon? Chad Powers?
Yeah, what's that?
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Chad Powers. Yeah, let's
Daddy,
go,
baby.
dude. Max and me, Chad Powers.
Oh, it's good stuff.
I never was good like Chad Bowers is the sad thing, but I have the work ethic.
What's your favorite route,
It'll
man?
be a cooler
Who's the?
story than
It's like
Chad Bowers.
To or like To's like still trying to like get back in the league or like what's other guy like one of
Ojo
those. He's always
Cinco?
tweeting about
Yeah,
stuff
they
like
just
yo like
run. They just still run like a
yeah
forward.
yeah. I was just thinking he's like yo like I can still put on the pads man. I can still dust all these guys. Like that's gonna be Mac, but it's probably true
What's
honestly.
your
Like
go-to route, Mac? Like you just know I'm about to sauce this
Whew.
person. Like
Yeah. I would say either not exciting routes. I would say I absolutely love a
okay,
corner route. I have a massive toolbox for what I'll do on the corner route, and I love it from the slot. Also love a quick out because I'm able to get like leverage. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not the fastest guy, but I can get leverage on their outside
yeah,
shoulder and then break out, create separation just enough to get the ball. And the quarterback throw me a pretty easy pass, and then like the 10-yard out. And then I love like the shorter routes. I love a stick route. It gives me the ability to kind of have an option, like the option route, in, out, or stick during zone. And then just love like a classic hitch, classic snap route,
you
slant.
love them all, dude.
I'm an all American. The people say I'm a Swiss
Oh
Army
man,
knife, Nick. Okay, I'm not doing the flashy shit. I'm the utility guy.
yeah.
But I'm a
People don't
damn good
realize a lot of
utility.
routes not necessarily about speed. It's like leverage, timing, spacing. Um, yeah, I mean it's really just leverage. And reading, because even I would see dudes coming out of the backfield, like on option routes, and they like, bro, there was not a linebacker that could cover them. Just they were so good at creating just enough leverage, and some guys were so fast that they could like make up for it, like Micah Parsons and stuff. But yeah,
Did you ever hit Mark Parsons in
yeah,
practice?
yeah. I mean, dude, there was a
You knock his socks off? Let's end it with that. Tell me how you just destroyed him and
dude.
put him in the
Really, he's
dirt.
so. I mean, I remember one time in particular, it was more like pass protection. Like you couldn't be like super aggressive and lean or anything because he could just like he was the quickest at just like you know doing a swim move on you. So you almost had to be patient and like strike at like the right time. Um, I do remember one time because I would do a lot of the running back stuff, like for scout team, and for whatever reason, there was something. some type of inside zone or something, and I'm running, and Demarcus Lawrence just hits the fuck out of me, and I'm like, bruh. And they don't like you don't like during the season, like you're not. College was more banging like during inside run than the pros. College, I mean, just hit like crazy. But then like in game, like preseason NFL, I mean, yeah, that stuff's like, dudes trying to pay bills and pay for their families, and it's a whole nother level of aggression. And everybody's just like freaks, but yeah, here now, man. Mac, appreciate you hopping on today, man. But hope both of you have a good day.
Awesome,
Guys,
guys.
I really appreciate it. I know I rambled a shit ton. So I just woke up, like, don't even know what
No,
I was
you're good,
saying.
man.
So
A lot of good stuff
to a
in there.
certain extent,
No, this is
don't
great,
kill me.
man.
But
Awesome.
yeah, I appreciate it, boys.
Dude, that was fire, bro.
Yeah, Mac, you're a beast, bro.
I appreciate it.